So, hey, I haven't been around for a while. Just cause I haven't had ideas for shit. And now, currently, I am in a closet. Because it seems like the simplest place for me to kind of get all my filming together, where there's like sort of a light and sort of a sound, and there's a microphone here, and everything is sort of set up. And I'm still using my phone because I don't have a camera or webcam, or it doesn't matter. Let's talk about DC, because they've been on a roll. A lot has happened. The DCAMU, the DC animated movie universe, just ended with Apokolips War. Justice League Dark Apokolips War, which is a name that is, again, obscenely too long, just like Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Adventures of One Harley Quinn. I can't believe I remember all of that. But Apokolips War was really good. I really liked it. It's a really good capstone, despite me starting to grow really tired of Barossa's art style. It's crazy to me that their live-action films, for the most part, are pretty weak, except for Shazam, which is awesome. Their animated films, just they do all the interesting stuff. Like Apokolips War does all the dark and gritty stuff that Zack Snyder wants to do with his movies. We'll get to that later. In a way that's still faithful to the characters. Like, this movie was bleak. I was texting my friends about it. I'm like, oh, this is a lot that's going on. When texting me, it's like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, no, it's not. And then me realizing now, not only am I doing this review really late, but also like how insane that was. People died. Like, everyone I liked died. Got turned into robots or something. Shit was ridiculous. It was bonkers, okay? A lot happened. But if you haven't seen Apokolips War, highly recommend it. It's really good. Especially for like a DC. It takes a lot of risks. Like, even Marvel's like, no, they like sort of did a risk like this. But also kind of walked it back. Yeah, no, they're just like, everybody died. What if everyone you loved just died or suffered? I want to go into spoilers about it, just because so much happened, but I don't really have anyone to talk to about it, so I'm just gonna, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. Now, to everything else that's going on, because I guess this is just talking. Fuck, it's early. Ruby Rose has left Batwoman. I don't have any emotions towards that, because I never watched the show. The only thing I saw of Ruby was in Crisis on Infinite Earths. I thought she was fine, nothing spectacular. It was interesting to get an actual queer person to play a queer person on television. Woo, so progressive. When I listen more and more to kind of the stories about it, there hasn't been like an official confirmation, but there's a pretty solid idea why. Like, the fan reception has not been good at all. I've heard nothing but negative things about the show. And then, like, she almost got paralyzed on set, and then like a set assistant did get paralyzed. It's like, I love superheroes, but like, to risk the rest of my life for that, I don't know if it's worth it. Even though I already had, like, especially if you have like a pre-existing condition and this activated it, like, nah. One of the best conversation pieces I heard is just kind of like, yeah, she seems more comfortable in a supporting role anyway, so she should stay there. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. She's a solid supporting actress. I've seen her in like John Wick and Orange is the New Black. She was my first pick, and yeah, see how little I thought about her? Just to completely escape my mind of like what was going on, what she was gonna do, and blah 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 blah. Good luck for her. I'm really curious as to where they're gonna go next and how they're gonna explain that one away. It's not a cartoon, so when people change, you usually tend to address it, unless you're Iron Man and you just never address it, or Hulk, where you never address it. Yeah, DC's had just like a lot of news. Harley Quinn season 2 is still good. Oh, how can I forget? The Snyder Cut is coming out, even though it didn't exist beforehand. So people are still wrong about that. All the talk and turmoil. It's like, release the Snyder Cut. Release the Snyder Cut. It's like it didn't exist. It is going to exist in the future. We are getting a Snyder Cut, but back then there was no edit that he did. Anyways, How do I feel about it? I'm morbidly curious. I saw Justice League, I think opening night, with not a lot of people in that theater, which says a lot. Wasn't a particularly good movie. Didn't have particularly strong performances, even from actors and actresses I like. No, nothing interesting with the villains or the character. Just a waste of time. And a buff Commissioner Gordon that was buff for no reason. Like, it was just So, I guess bitching and complaining about stuff on the internet, if it worked for the Sonic movie, and it'll work again for DC, because we're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League come 2021. So that's a thing. I remember even back at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 meeting Patrick H. Willems and him informing me and company that there were signs that people paid for that said release the Snyder Cut on it, and I was besides myself. I'm like, no, that can't be real. Then I saw the pictures in one of his later videos. I'm like, oh, Patrick didn't lie to me. He didn't lie at all. Now that I see it, I can laugh even harder because it seemed like such a silly prospect. It really did, because it was such a vocal minority of a fan base. I can definitely tell that this is kind of a cash grab, but now I'm just morbidly curious. I'm like, what is Zack going to use the $20 million for? 20 to 30 that's projected to like recut, pull out that, blow the dust off that 3-year-old B-roll. What hodgepodge film is he going to make that is at least better than the one that we got, which was already like a Franken film between two directors, two styles, two storytellers, just in the wake of a tragedy. I'm like, what on earth is going to happen? And how many other companies are going to do this? Because now I want the like 4-hour cut of Rise of Skywalker, or fuck it, reshoot Rise of Skywalker. Give us Duel of the Fates with Colin Trevorrow, except for cutting out some of the stupid shit like Poe and Rey getting together. We all know he's boyfriends with Finn. I guess I'm cautiously optimistic, and you know what? I still stand by all the shit that I talked about there not being a Snyder Cut, because it doesn't exist, but it's going to exist. So there wasn't one before. There were plans or ideas or concepts, but we're getting a Snyder Cut. So anything is possible. I'm not going to say I'm excited to see it. I am cautiously realistic about it. It'll come out. It'll probably exist. But since Zack Snyder, in my opinion, isn't the best director, no idea where this is going to go. There's a slim chance that somehow this movie's like good. Not great, not mind-blowing, not amazing, but just like good. Like, all I'm thinking is like, at best, it's better than what we got, which is a low bar. So I don't know. Since DC's animated department wants to go ahead and they're like, clean slate, we're gonna have a whole new animation movies doing different characters, starting with Superman. You know, that different character with Superman and the Man of Tomorrow. The art style it's fine. It's not Phil Barossa, so you know, something different. The cast looks solid, actually pretty strong. I'll give them that. But here's 5 DC stories that I want them to adapt that don't have Batman or Superman in it. I want one on Vixen, Return of the Lion, just because I want more stuff with Vixen in it. Those 2 seasons of the CW shorts weren't enough for me. I feel like that'd be a really interesting one to adapt. Give us a black female-led cartoon animated film. Green Lantern, Blackest Night and Brightest Day, because I feel like that would be a really interesting arc to do for a movie. You've already done like a bunch of other arcs in terms of adaptation. Why not? You've done stuff like New Frontier, you've done Hush, you've done Killing Joke. So take a stab at Blackest Night, Brightest Day. I mean, we don't really have that many Green Lantern movies, so I feel like it'd be really interesting to see how you would adapt that, especially like an event movie. And going forward, I don't know if these movies are going to be in their own timeline or chronology or whatever, but it'd be a good like 2-parter, like with the death of Superman and Reign of the Superman. You know, give us a Black Knight, Brightest Day movie. Do those. Teen Titans Earth 1, just because I would be interested to see how you adapt one of the Earth 1 movies. Man of Steel is already a really bad Superman Earth 1 adaptation. So let's do Teen Titans Earth 1. Let's do another Teen Titans movie. Let's do a story that we haven't done before. We've done Judas Contract. And they did Teen Titans versus Justice League. There's that other one, that other story was Cyborg that they could do. But for me personally, I think Earth 1, because Earth 1 is my favorite universe within DC. It's the only one I can really kind of pay attention to because I don't really read many of their mainline books other than Shazam and sometimes Harley Quinn. So yeah, do a Teen Titans one. Deathstroke the Terminator. And base it off the Christopher Priest run because I hear really good things about it. I've read a smidgen, baby spinach about amount of the run, but I've heard nothing but like absolute praise for it. So you can base it on that. But we also have that Deathstroke show, Knights and Dragons, I think it's called, which you should absolutely check out because the first season is really good. Like really good. It's stylistic, it's bloody, it's brutal, but there's a story in it. It's an interesting and kind of heartbreaking story. So give us a full movie. You went all full steam ahead with Apokolips War. I don't see why you can't do that with the Deathstroke movie and have him be played by the guy that's supposed to be in Justice League. Joe Manganiello? However you say his name. The hot dude from Pittsburgh. Get him to do it so we can get his little Deathstroke the Terminator movie. I feel like that'd be really dope and a good use of that actor and that character. And then the fifth one, I would say, is Static Shock. We need more Static. When is the last time you've seen Static? Young Justice Outsiders? Right, exactly. That's the problem. Need more Static. You can never go wrong with Static. And that could also be your backdoor to giving us some milestone movies or some shorts. Introduce people to like Icon and the rest of the members of the Dakotaverse whose names I can't remember right now, but they're also interesting. Icon is basically like DC's Blue Marvel. He's their Black Superman. So have Static Shock lead into like a Black Justice League team up. Give Static Shock a movie. That'd be dope. Everyone would love to see a Static Shock movie. It would come out of nowhere and we'd all be keen to see it since we probably won't get him on Black Lightning for ever. Give us a Static Shock movie and then give us a bunch of milestone movies. Those are the ones that I want to see. So yeah, those are the 5 that I want to see. We got Vixen, Green Lantern, Teen Titans, Deathstroke, and Static. I feel like that's a wide range of options and films for DC to do. So hopefully we'll get that down the pipeline. But let me know down in the comments below. What are 5 DC characters that you would want to see get a solo movie now that the animated universe is starting anew with a Superman movie? Because can't do anything that risky. And your thoughts on the Snyder Cut, and your thoughts on Ruby Rose exiting Batwoman. But yeah, that's gonna be me. Like, comment, subscribe, do all 3 of those things, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Have a good one.